Hey guys, Deluxe here, back again with another review. And today we're having a look at the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Crowbar. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, now as I said before, today we're having a look at Crowbar. He is the last Deluxe Class, at least I own, from the Studio Series, line of Transformers. I'm waiting on the Jazz in the Lockdown. I will buy them. They just need to come out. So yeah. Get on that, Hasbro. The heck? Apparently there's Ironhide too, a Voyager Ironhide. I would like to own it. You just need to send the crap to the stores. That's so hard. But Crowbar here is a character who was in both Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction, not Age of Extinction, last night. And overall, he's pretty cool looking. He's just a black van type deal, kind of like the vans from the first movie. But yeah, he does come with two spiked clubs, just to beat the snot out of you with. I mean, no wonder Ironhide's dead, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Too soon? Get over it. But those are nice. They're made of soft rubber, I think. At least flexible, but I don't get this. Why is this so... They used all the soft rubber and stuff on Grimlock, right? Well, these are spiky. I figured they would have made these gummier than heck, but I guess it's because they're smaller. I don't know, but those are pretty sharp. And then there's this other figure called Predaking from Beast Hunters. Let's not even talk about that one. But looking at Crowbar. Robot. Yeah, he's pretty busy down there. I mean, there's his front dreads. There are the back ones in the back there. But, yeah. And, comparing him to the only other Decepticon we have, here he is next to Stinger. I didn't show the underside of Stinger. It's a mess. Organized mess, but a mess. But there he is next to Stinger. I don't know if these two ever met. I can't remember if Stinger gets punked out in Age of Extinction by one of the Dinobots or not. Probably does. Deserves it. Little bugger. And then here he is next to Bumblebee. Now Bumblebee is way oversized, I think. Again, the scale is pretty off. And here he is next to Ratchet. Now that almost works. If Ratchet was just a wee bit bigger, probably work. So he's kind of weird. He's kind of out of scale with everybody. And then, of course, here he is next to Voyager Prime. I'm not bringing in Starscream and Blackout for comparisons, mostly because that's a pain in the arse. Because Blackout has these things that stick out like a mile from him. Yeah. There he is next to Prime, and obviously that doesn't work. So, yeah. But with that being said, let's get this guy transformed into his robot mode and take a closer look at that. Alrighty guys, so here we have Mr. Crowbar in his robot mode. Let's take a closer look at him. He is actually, he used to be, well, I don't know how to word this, but this figure was once Berserker in the Last Night line of figures, which I do have, but is on display, so no comparison for you, but you already seen it at this point, so who cares. But this guy once saw life as that, and that's what I wanted to say the first time. Damn it. He is now Crowbar, and I have to tell you, I think this one is the better of the two. Transformation is a little bit smoother. It's still a pain in the butt, but stuff ain't popping off. I think one of his legs will pop off. On mine, anyways. It pops off, but it goes right back on. Stays on nice and tight, too. But yeah, the Berserker figure, the panels would pop off, like the back piece that folds into the backpack, that would pop off. Panels on the arms pop off. This guy, not so much, so that's a plus. But in terms of his articulation, his head will rotate, go all around. It also kind of leans forward a lot due to transformation. So you can give him like a lizard type look if you wanted to. I guess more of a psycho monkey. Psycho monkey. But yeah. And looking at that sculpt, that is some gnarly Decepticon face going on right there. Hard to see, but he's got a ridiculous underbite. Yeah, but this dude is pretty cool. Hold on, checking my microphone, making sure it's on the right setting here. Alright, it is. But he looks pretty cool. So the head, like I said, moves all around. The arms will move out. They got that other joint that moves them up and down, whatever. He does not appear to have a bicep. Oh, he does. He's got a bicep swivel. Hinge at the elbow. His wrists will move in. Now this is completely different from the other figure. His arm panels are actually attached to the bottom, which kind of sucks because it makes his stick thingies a pain in the butt to get in his hands, but you'll see that in a minute here. Showed you earlier he kind of has an ab crunch, but it'll mess up the backpack, so you may not want to do that. Do it at your own risk. My camera is going off the Fritz. There we go. His legs will move out, back in, forward, back. He's got a thigh cut, single joint at the knee, and his feet will hinge because of the transformation. And that is all of his articulation. He does have these long arse dreads that stick out the back, and you're probably going to want to warp those so they look right. That's what I did. They look a little better now than they did beforehand. And then these two hang out the sides. I used to have these coming out over his shoulders, kind of like how he was in the movie, but this way is a little bit less cumbersome. And I guess it's supposed to be like that, so, you know, whatever. But he does come with two of these guys. These spiked clubs of death. Kill a man with one of those. Now, ideally, I think what you're supposed to do here is put them in, well, put them in his hands. No crap, Sherlock, but they go in a certain way, but the panels get in the way of the handle. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's the panel's in the way. He can't hold them. And they don't lock. Otherwise, they don't clip to his thumb or nothing. So you kind of got to hinge his hand in and try and find the sweet spot and just cram him in there. And then straighten his hand back out. And hope to God he holds the frickin' things. That sucks. That's a pain in the ass. This dude drops his frickin' little clubs more than any Transformer I know. And that sucks, because I really like this figure. He looks cool, but his stupid little clubs are just a pain in the balls, man. I mean, they just pop out, too. If you don't do it just right, you kind of warp it. And it's still loose. I mean, it doesn't want to go in the right way. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's complaining about this either. But, oh well. I mean, yeah, it just does not want to hold the frickin' thing. That's literally the best I got. Is where it's at right now. And it's still kind of loose. But he can hold them. I wish that was like 10 times easier, but he can hold them. I wish his freaking torso would not bend either. And my only other problem with this mold, I wish the backpack tabbed in. That's kind of stupid, but it does work for the most part. But there he is. He is leaning out a little bit, so you have to work with me here. Here he is next to, we'll compare him to the Autobots that were in Dark of the Moon first. And then we'll compare him to the Decepticons. Here he is next to Bumblebee. You know, the version that wasn't in Dark of the Moon, but the first movie. And then here he is next to Ratchet. Oh, bump into him, yo. Let's fix his legs there. There we go. And as you can see, he's in pretty good scale with them, I'd say. To me, this is how tall Crowbar probably was. I don't know if this guy punked out Ironhide or not, spoiler alert, but he definitely looks like he could. He's a mean-looking dude, so you got that going for you. Also, this Ratchet over here is getting repainted into the Dark of the Moon version, so they're basically just going to reissue that figure from what it looks like. He's going to have something else, though. It's not going to be the saw blade. What the heck was this weapon? I think it was a blaster of some sort. I'll probably pick it up, though. I like the Studio series. This Bumblebee is kind of an unsung hero, I think. Believe it or not, even though I'm not a big Bumblebee fan. If anything, I love this Optimus Prime here. He is pretty sick. And him next to Crowbar, he looks quite substantial. That's as good as that's going to get. But, yeah, I do believe Optimus looked like this in Dark of the Moon. This is the Revenge of the Fallen look from what I've seen in other reviews. And then while it ain't the Dark of the Moon look, it's still a character from that movie. Here is Crowbar next to Starscream, who is ridiculously massive compared to everyone else in this line. Even Blackout, he kind of dwarfs. I mean, look at that. His head's going off screen. But taking Optimus out. Now, I don't remember if Stinger was in, what was it? Last Night. But Crowbar was, I think. And here's Crowbar next to Stinger. Crowbar's a little bigger. So, yeah. But, with that being said, time to wrap up with final thoughts. Alrighty guys, so wrapping up with final thoughts, I can't say I dislike this figure, but there are some things I wish were done better on it. To be honest, I think the dreadlocks are probably some of the coolest aspects of this figure. Some people find them a little annoying. Well, that's just kind of how it is. They were on Crankcase, not so much on Berserker. They are very, very, I guess, very noticeable on this guy. They're much more out there, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, especially when they're done as well as they possibly could have been. I think this is the best way they could have done the dreads. And apparently they're supposed to be like saw blades, like on a chainsaw or something, so that's pretty cool. The main drawback to this figure is I think the backpack not pegging in is a little annoying, and then the fact he really can't hold his weapons without you really messing with the figure. I think that's a little annoying too. I don't particularly care for the ab crunch. Some people probably like it, but I don't know, I just don't think those belong on Transformers, at least not this one. Not when his backpack is here, there, and everywhere. But other than that, I think he's a really nice figure, and I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check me out on Instagram at overlord.productions. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.